evening, folks. Welcome to the Let's Go Fishing show, and glad to have you all with us tonight. And Mike, glad to have you with me.
Me too. Glad to be here.
Yeah, because if Mike hadn't have been here, I wouldn't have any fishing film. You
Yeah.
know, so I'm glad to have him. You know, if I'd had a bunch of film, well, he could have stayed at home and worked on something.
Yeah.
No,
I need to do a lot of that. I need
You
to do a
know
lot of
better
that.
than that, Mike.
Need to
I'm
do a
glad
lot
to
of
have
that.
you over here. Want to say hello to Dad. Want to say hello to Polly and to Bill. They're probably out shopping, but anyway, want to say hello to them. And not they'll be watching the show and may call in here in a little bit. Right off the get-go, I've got my camera. Us filming. I had Wesley and Jackson with me this weekend, Friday, Saturday, I guess it was. And well, Wesley was out of school last week, and so he and I went down on Friday. We just had a ball. I mean, catching the stripe and the bass, the little bass. And so we took Jackson Wilson with us, a young man from church, and Jackson's a hunter. I mean, they killed their limit of deer this year and last year, just on and on. But anyway, got Jackson in the boat, and he's fished a little bit, but trying to get him in on a break caster. And he done pretty good, and but they caught a lot of fish. And I mean, when you're catching them two at a time on the bait, there's a bunch of fish around, Mike.
No doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
You got one on each treble hook. There's a bunch of fish around.
Yeah, they call it a feeding frenzy.
A feeding frenzy.
Yeah.
We put the boat in that morning about 7:30 there at the boat ramp, and they was breaking right there at the boat ramp. And I said, don't even crank the big engine. Let's get your rods out and then come back in here and pick me up. And they did, and I eased right out there with the trolling motor. And I said, get the casting, guys. I got the camera up, and I said, it's all on you two. But anyway, I'm hoping Dylan can figure out, while we were filming, my camera showed that the SD card was full, memory full. It had a little symbol in the middle of the screen. Well, I thought, well, how in the world? So I get down and I'm deleting some stuff out of the camera and go back to filming. Yeah, it cleared it up. Well, it didn't last but just a fish or two, and it was back full again. So anyway, got Christy there this week to help me, and come to find out, even though you delete that stuff off your screen, you don't delete it out of the card, and it was still full. So I had stuff on my camera from when I bought the camera 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So the card was full. And so anyway, so I'm at home this afternoon, and I said, okay, I'm going to just kind of review the film, and it won't play it back. So I give it to Dylan. I'm hoping he'll get it going some way, somehow, plug it into the computer or whatever, and try to get it, because the pictures are there, just that it won't play it back on my camera. And I filmed some stuff at home new and this afternoon, and it plays it back. So I don't know. Hey, if I knew all that stuff, I wouldn't be sitting here with you, Mike.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'd be up there on the space station or something like that if I was that smart. You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
Yeah. So anyway, or out there on the water fishing while you was doing this. I'd had plenty of money and plenty of time. So, but anyway, I'm not that smart. So I couldn't figure that thing out.
I heard that.
But it's
You one of them grandkids, they'll figure it out.
That's right. That's why I got Christian. If I'd had Wesley, I'd have got him in there to figure. I mean, what the heck.
Yep.
We're just outdated, is all I can
No
say.
doubt about that.
Anyway, Mike's got some film and that kind of thing, and got some nice pictures. Got some nice I mean, Tony Gallagher and his buddy, they caught some nice crappie, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, some dancing 3-pounders.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So we got them to show. Want to see, let y'all know about that, and that's coming up here. And
Right now it's catch and release and wait after the spawn season, then don't keep any.
Yeah. And I'll go along with that, Mike. And during my weekend fishing, there Friday and Saturday, caught 2 walleye, one each day.
Yeah, that's
Sure
great.
did.
That's great.
2 nice ones, and I didn't throw them back either, Mike. No, they went in the live well. They're in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
Just where I need to be. The only thing I hate about it is I need to catch about 6 or 8 more.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of the walleye, Dave went to Norris last Thursday night, and hey, I was back home at 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We got up there about 10:30. Moon company was just, you could see the glow behind the hill there, and it just got up. Just about the time we got out there while I was idling around, it was coming up. Run up on the .19 bluff there, and shut the motor off, and just wanted to listen, for the minnows on the bank, and heard a few break. And I thought, this may be good. But man, that place was just never got a wall, and only had 1 bite on my jerkbait, and that was a smallmouth, about 2 pounds. The only bite I had.
And guys fishing days ain't having much luck either.
No, and it just things just ain't right up there. Is all I can say. I'm not going to give up on them, but I don't know what the deal is. Water temperature was about 61, 62 degrees. I had a lot of trash floating. I don't know. It just looked like it had well, I know what it's pollen. It was pollen on the water, and it just like it was sheeted with.
Yeah, pollen's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, not just the water, but it's everywhere.
But I turned my headlight on, the dang gummit, this looked like it was a white blanket on the water.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
the fish were breaking out off the bank. Occasionally there'd be one come in and break close to the bank, and I fished some shallow points, and I fished some straight up bluffs, and some in between pea gravelly banks, and like I said, they just wasn't cooperating. So we loaded back up, and it was about 2 o'clock, 10 after 2. I was pulling out, headed home, and was home at 3 o'clock. So that's what I told Wesley. I said, hey, if they don't want to cooperate, we'll get home and take us a little nap, and we'll head down to the lunch bar there in the morning and see if we can catch something.
Yeah.
And that's what we done. So that's where it stands right now, for sure. And had 2 pretty good trips, Friday and Saturday, and then went back Tuesday with Jackson. I got home Tuesday, got rained out at work, and got home about lunchtime, and I called Jackson to see if he wanted to go again, and naturally he did. So he and I went back down there, and he caught a nice 3-pound plus bass there, and a bunch of stripe and some small bass, and just he and I, we done a little bit of pitching and flipping and jig fishing and stuff, and then got back on the crankbaits and rattle traps, and I had him put his bait on a spinning reel, and he done a lot better with that, but he hadn't give up on the bait caster, for sure, and told him to practice some more, and just trying to learn what's going on and do different things, and but we had a good trip Friday or Tuesday, and then yesterday Coach Ronnie Brown and I went, and I had go to the doctor physical there Tuesday morning, or yesterday morning, and took off after that and picked up Matt Coach Brown at the boat ramp, and buddy, I'll tell you what, I'm ashamed to say, Mike, but we never boated the first bass. I mean, not the first bass that we put in the boat. We had some bumps and some ticks, but not the first bass. And the only 2 fish that I throwed up in the boat was 2 stripers. Now, we had a few bites. I had a couple more fish on, but they got off, and I'm pretty sure they were striped too. And so, you know, it just went from this chaos on Friday and Saturday with Wesley to with Coach Ronnie Brown there Wednesday. Yesterday, it's like a different lake. And I mean, we couldn't get a bite. We flipped, we pitched, we Texas rigged, I threw the crankbait. That's what I caught the stripe on. And I mean, we, you know, spinner baits. We tried a little bit of everything and couldn't get a bite.
Yeah.
All kinds of different plastics, you know. So they definitely something. I mean, personally, I feel like the fish down there, the water's coming up, and I think that there's a few fish in there on the bank, but I think most of the fish is out there in that 4, 5, 6 foot water.
Yeah.
And we just ain't getting where they're at, and fishing on the bank there, I guess, and it just, you know, we just didn't do any good on that deal. Dylan, what you got for us? Got some crappie film? All right, you better play that, and then we'll talk about what's on my camera if we can get it off there.
Yeah, I have some bass film on my camera.
Well, Mike's got some bass film too. He and Mikey were bass fishing and crappie fishing, I think.
No, he tried no crappie.
You didn't try? Okay. So let's see what you got. If it's not what we're looking for, we'll move on to something else. All right, man. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, the electronics.
Put in Kingston, here next to the plant, Lake Shore. Got my fishing partner with me today. Got Mikey with me today. We're going to go for these bass a little bit while we can. So, you ready to go and get them? Yeah. Well, look at the camera and say hi to everybody. Hi. Okay, there's one done breaking already. All right, we're going to get busy here and see if we can find a few fish. Maybe we can get a little film of Mikey catching a bass or two. Hang with us. We'll see what's going on. All right, folks. Turn him around sideways. Let me look at him. Yeah, nice little bitty in there. All right. Mikey, you can come on with it. All right, that's our first one. We'll throw him back and see if we can find another. He's him back in the water there. The only hell my mama ever raised. He's gone. We'll catch him again next time. Alright, little bass. Get him back in the water and we'll catch him again next time maybe. Alright. Alright, there's Mikey with another nice one. That's a good one. That's a good one, real good one. You want to have him back in the water? Yeah. Let's put him back in the water there. Drop him in. Drop him in. There you go. Now then, we'll get on some more here maybe. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, Mikey, there's another real nice one. Can't beat that. What do you think about him?
So big.
He's real big. Turn around there and get a good shine in. There you go. All right. Let's see him back in the water over here. Go him in. Go him in. There you go. He's gone. All right, folks. Mikey got the big one. I got the little one there. Same time. Both of us hooked up at the same time. So can't beat that, can we? Nope. Okay. Lay him back in the water right easy. There you go. Now then, maybe we'll get another one. Bigger than that. What do you think? Yeah. All right. Well, there Mikey is with another small one. We're going to throw him back. Maybe we'll get him when he gets bigger. Get him back in the water. Got him on spinner bait. All right. Mikey, that's another nice one there. What are you gonna do with him? Put him back in? No, put him back in the water. He's gonna let him grow up. Great big. One of these days you may catch a great big one. Yeah. No, put him back in the water. There you go. You'll be back shortly. All right, Mikey. How's another little? Turn around here and look at him. I tell you what, I'm glad I brought you along. All I got to do is run the camera now. Let you hold the fish for me. What do you think? Put him back in there. He'll go up to be a biggie.
Johnny Paycheck, the only hell mama ever raised on a Thursday. New Music Friday coming up tomorrow.
All right, folks. Turn around there, Mikey. There you go. Lay him back in there and we'll get us another one.
It's his ninth studio album since
All right,
2012.
Mikey. So you getting used?
Keep him busy.
Well, that's good. Maybe you'll get used to catching him one of these days.
Love and War. That'll also be
Put him back in the water and we'll let him grow up.
Coming out for New Music Friday. Coming up here in a minute, I got
All
Hank
right,
Williams
Mikey
Jr.
got
and
him
Sammy
one here.
Smith.
On his
Kick
little
things
rattle
off
trap.
next, right here on your home for the classic country legends.
A nice little fish. He'll get him off here and throw him back in the water.
It's here, the biggest
Okay,
Florida event
folks.
of the year.
I'm going to take Mikey to the house. Looks like we've had enough for today.
5 days of
Yeah,
once-in-a-lifetime prices
I'm going to get him on to the house and feed him a little bit. I think he's getting hungry. So, we'll see you on the show there Thursday night. And have a good Easter morning.
Limited time deals on small lots from 29 cents.
All right, folks, we're back, and Mikey's doing pretty good.
He's doing real good.
Yeah.
Real good, too.
He sure is. He and he called that a mini trap.
It's a mini trap. Yeah, it ain't been about that long.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that doesn't surprise me. He's doing really well. Mikey is. He sure is.
That one there go 3 pound or better, and I don't know whether he caught it or it caught him, but anyway, I stand there and flipped in there, and one hit my jig, and I set the hook on it, and about that time he started squalling and come running up there to the front of the boat with one. And I reckon grabbed it and throwed it up in the boat, and it's a good-sized bass. I said, dang.
Yeah.
Come on with it. So.
It sure does look like it. Dylan came in while that film was showing, and he says it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get the film off my camera, so I may have to take that thing home and download it onto a flash drive and then bring it back. But I hate that. And we'll...
Well, the same day that you and Jackson and Wesley was down there Saturday, that's when I took my grandson of mine, Mikey, down there, and of course we had to stop and load up with stuff.
Yeah.
You know how all that is, and make sure we got plenty to eat, plenty to drink, and everything, and got him down there and put in there on the point there at Kingston, and fished around there for quite a while, never had a bite, and it surprised me. So that's when we started moving and headed down the river fishing and got into some fish out around some boat docks and stuff, and mostly catching them on that brown jig. Then he started catching them on that little bitty rattle trap. Yeah, and, he wasn't throwing it that far either. He's learning how to throw, but it surprised me. He caught what he did. I caught a couple of fish, I think, on spinner bait. Had 5 or 6 that wouldn't keep, just little bitty ones about 10 inches, throwed them back. And didn't even bother filming them. And then I caught a couple on a fluke and stuff there. And then had a Cinco on and had 2 or 3 to bite at it, but they wouldn't take it. So it was a pretty interesting trip. And anyway, he got pretty hungry, so I had to take him to the house.
Yeah.
He was counting on his mama having supper ready.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's all right, Mike. That's definitely good. We got the fishing just been up and down. I mean, well, it depends on what you want to fish for, and there's some people still catching a lot of crappie.
Mm-hmm.
The water on Watts Bar likes about 2 foot and a half, 2 feet being full, so it still leaves enough bank exposed for the bank fishermen to get down. Yeah, to get down on the lake bank there and not have to stand in the trees and in the weeds and stuff. So we'll see who we got here. Oh, here we go. Hold it. No, it's right here. Hello.
Hey, son.
Yeah,
Hey,
Bill.
It's old buddy Billy boy.
Yay.
I ain't heard from you in a while.
I know it, Bill. We've been so daggone busy.
I know it. Well, I just wanted to let you know the walleye is doing pretty good up there north. Me and Mike Bolden went Monday night, and we had 6 real nice ones. I got them in the freezer out here.
Boy, that sounds good, Bill.
And me and Richard McIntosh, my friend that with the gas company, he and I went last night, and we catch 3 real nice walleye and 3 big stripers.
Well,
And that was the best we done, but we didn't get fish long. Richard had a dental appointment at 7:30 this morning, so we had to get him back home and get him ready to go to the dentist early. So, but we had 3 nice walleye and 3 big old stripers.
yeah.
And so that was my last 2 nights here on these walleye.
Yeah.
They been hitting pretty good, but that water is so clear. I tell you what, they're scared of the bait even, I think.
Yeah, I hear you, Bill. I don't know what we're gonna do up there. You know, I'm like you. That water's so dang clear. You heard me tell what William Wesley done. What part of the lake did you and Mike Bolden fish?
We put in at Andersonville, and I fished in the sea for about 2 hours and fished some places that I know that there's walleye and never had a bite. And I went down the river. And that's where we caught our 6 walleye. And then last night I went back to Andersonville and then put in at Point 19, and I stayed in the sea there. And I guess I would, if I'd have had longer to fish and everything, I would have probably gone back down the river, but I didn't have that much time. But I fished in Big Ridge Holler there, and then 2 or 3 other places that me and you've always caught a few walleye.
Right.
But I never had. Now I had some bites last night that I know that was walleye, but they only nudged that plug. They just nudged it. They would not take it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the deal was, but anyway, we wound up with 3 nice ones there in the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And them 3 big stripers, they came on the plug also.
Yeah.
And they weren't really on the bank.
Yep.
Steve, they were off in the bank. The minnows were 18, 20 feet off in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't catch a fish on the bank at all. Every fish I caught was 12, 15 feet off in the bank, son.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what the deal is. I think that the water clarity has got a whole lot to do with it. I really do. I don't know if we'll ever. We're going to have to try these smallmouth. I ain't caught a smallmouth in so long now. I wouldn't know how it felt.
well, that's my next plan. I don't know. I know we're supposed to get some rain and stuff here. I've got to work tomorrow. Thank the Lord, and get to work tomorrow. But we got some work we got to get finished. Can't leave it by the weekend, so we got to do it tomorrow. And then it's supposed to rain tomorrow night. But
yeah,
I'm ready to go. I'm like you, and
well,
yeah.
Like I said, I don't know about the smallmouth. I'm sure that they've been on the beds, and I can't prove that. I really can't. Me and Paul, we were over on Dale Hollow, as you know,
yeah.
And we had a total of 4 nights, I believe it was, we only had we seen 14 and put 13 of them in the boat.
Yeah.
Walleye, and we had some pretty nice walleye. And George, Uncle Larry, I ran into him and his wife, and I let him have some plugs there to catch them walleye on.
Yeah.
And he, when I talked to him the next day, he'd done lost 2 on the plugs. I told him, I said, just keep working that plug, son. They will bite it.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you.
Yeah, but anyway, I just been getting to go fishing here every now and then, but I'm waiting on you and Mike. And Mike, I tell you what, I got a word for you. Polly told me to tell you that, son, if them our crappie was just exactly the right name. I fixed them for her, son, and she'd on them for 2 days.
Yeah, that's great, buddy. That sounds good. That's what we intended. Wanted you to do. Mike took it on himself to get them. I told him we got to get you some crappie up there, and I didn't have a chance to get them.
Well, she really enjoyed them, Mike and Steve.
Yeah.
And listen, I'll let you go, old buddy, and give me a shout anytime.
Okay, we'll be talking tomorrow, okay?
Okay, old buddy.
All right, bye. See you, buddy. Bye. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll tell you what I think. We've always regulated our night fishing up there by the moon.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And what Bill brought up, and the reports I've been hearing about, they was guys catching them walleye up there, good walleye, before this last full moon ever come up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you doing that, and we're waiting on, and that was the thing there the other night, was to wait on give the moon a chance to get up. But now, if Wesley and I'd stayed till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, they might have started biting. But Bill and them's up there right now, and it's cloudy and overcast and partly cloudy every night, and this, that, and the other, and they ain't no moon up right now. It don't get up till daylight, and then it's just a little sliver.
Well, you get to thinking, if them fish is out there at night and you're catching them 30, 40 foot deep, you think there's any light out there for them fish to see by?
No.
Well, it don't have to be no moonlight for them fish to hit in there against
not
the
a
bank.
walleye, especially. That's why they call him Big Eye, because he can see, he's got the eyes to see, and I agree with that. I don't think you have to have the moon. The thing about it is right now is the bait, getting that bait in there on the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And the same way Bill was talking, them fish was breaking water up there on me and Wesley the other night. Occasionally, they wasn't constant. This one here, this.
Oh yeah.
But they were off the bank.
Mm-hmm.
I only saw 2 fish break water. After I got past the place and looked back, hear a fish break, then I'd look back and see, he's about 4 or 5 foot off the bank, but everything else was out behind the boat.
They may not be in there spawning yet, the shad or the alewives or anything for them walleye to go in there after them. They out there following them schools or something.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of the activity we saw was more out behind the boat, out to the middle. The rig, you could tell them rockfish when they break water. Heck, it's like you throw the bomb in.
Well, that's the same way down there Saturday. I seen some fish on the bed down at Watchbar.
Yeah.
Got in there and fooled with one and tried to get him to bite. Threw 2 or 3 different baits at him. Wouldn't do nothing. He just swam off, and then when the bait moved, he'd come back. So.
Yeah.
But they're trying to nest down there. I think that water warmed up when it was down 3 foot or 4, and some of them moved in there and started nesting, and then they backed the water up on them, and it's kind of slowed them down, and they ain't moved on in there to make another nest. They're still stuck right there on where they're at, and the water's come on up over them, and I don't know how it's going to do on the eggs, whether they're going to hatch out. Seems to be pretty clear, but then again, you get all these rains, it muddies up right quick. But I hope everything comes out all right on the spawn this year. But I think there's going to be a lot more coming on in. I don't think all of them's moved in yet.
Right. Well, speaking of that, our Tuesday, Jackson and I were fishing, and the water was good and clear there where we were at, and we were pitching plastics and this kind of thing. And I had one Cinco in my boat. That's the one I had over here on the show a few weeks back, and put the bait keepers on there. And I throwed that hook and bait in my tray there, and I raised that lid up, and there it laid, and I said, I jumped down and got a rod out, and I throwed that thing about 3 licks and 3 casts, and bam, had about a 2.5 pounder.
Yeah.
And
was any of them you catch and have any tail marks on them? What it
No.
meant? Well, see, a couple of them that I've caught Saturday
you had tail markings on them. Well, it doesn't surprise me.
Then had 1 or 2 there that was, ready to pop, but they hadn't been on the nest.
Yeah, and then Jackson, he had never seen anything like that, and he said, did you see? I said, yeah, I saw him hit it. I said, you just watch that thing right there. And I said, you just see them coming up there real slow, and they'll just suck that thing in and take off with it.
Yeah. And
buddy, I didn't go 20 yards down the bank there, and I throwed that thing back in there on the bank, and then twitched it about twice, and I seen that big fat fish coming. I just bumped it one more time, and he just run up there, and it disappeared.
Yeah.
Just eased right off with it, and I had it on 10-pound test line, and I know that was a mistake to start with. And I let him run about 5 feet, and I popped that line, and it just went like that. Pop.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, dadgummit,
Yep.
And there it was, all my Cinco's was at the house, and that's the only one I had in the boat. And, it just got a basket full of them, but didn't have none with it.
Well, the first time I ever fished one of them deals, we was down there at West Point, and the water was pretty dang clear. You could see 6-7 foot deep down there, and I tied one. Of course, it was pink. That's the only one I had.
Yeah.
And throwed that thing out there and twisted it around. I dang, that thing ain't gonna catch no fish. Then I throwed it out there again, twisted about twice, and I was standing there looking at it, and all of a sudden it disappeared. I said, where'd it go? Went down there and it done blow off over there.
Yeah.
With it. I said, hey, how in the world, what was that fish around? I never did see that fish from where it come from.
Well, and then yesterday when Coach Brown and I were down there, I had my Cinco's with me, and I wore that thing out.
Yeah.
And I had one bite on it. One bite. And
they can come in there and grab that thing so dang fast.
I know.
Like a streak of lightning. They done got it and swallowed and gone with it.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know, that was like he and I were talking there yesterday. Them places that I fished Friday and Saturday and even Tuesday, minnows was jumping everywhere. Yesterday, you didn't see. The minnows, you'd see the minnows jumping, but they wasn't actually jumping. They just, how you see them little single minnows come out of the water.
Yeah.
That's all we saw.
All you saw.
And like I said, Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday this week, the minnows were schooled up, and the bass and the stripe was in them, and they was knocking them out of the water.
They don't care whether they eat a minnow or not.
Yeah, that's right. And but it just like that, it just changed, and I don't know if it was due to the little bit of dingy water that was in the lake or what, but we sure didn't do any good in the places we had been doing good.
Well, I've fooled with a lot of fish that's been on the beds and stuff, and throw Cinco in there and bring it in there and stop it in that bed, and they just run in there and just blow it out of there.
Right.
And I had one about 5 pounds down there. That one day he blowed that thing out of the nest 4 or 5 times, and finally I got down there and got that little bitty fly on there and throwed it out there, that little lead head on it, and I pulled it up there and set it down that nest. He ran up there and tried to blow it out several times, and it wouldn't go nowhere, and then finally he just sucked it up. When he did carry it out of there, that's when I put the hook to him. Brought him in there, and he'd go over 5, and we turned around there and throwed him back and went on down through there fishing, come back through, I guess, 30 minutes later, and Brad throwed right in the same dang nest and caught the same fish back again. They get locked in there on that nest. They don't like for anything to move in there, and they going continuously to keep hitting at it. You can spook them off, and they'll swim around and make a circle and ease back in there.
Yeah.
And, I've seen some that get spooked off, and you just sit right there with the boat. If you'll be still long enough, he'll come back in there, and sometimes you don't even know he's come back in there. They can sneak in on them places. It ain't easy.
Oh yeah, they just appear.
Yeah.
You don't know where from or how to, but they just there he is, and I know exactly what you're saying, Mike. But let's show those crappie pictures and what those 4. I think you got 4 pictures. Let's bring them up, and then we'll talk about them here and see what we got going on. There he is. There's Jackson Wilson with a nice bass. Caught that fish, and here's the thing. I had my camera there in the boat, but it was raining, and I didn't want to get it wet, so I took his phone and made a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, we just didn't film any, and because of the rain, I just didn't want to get the camera wet, and I should have put it in a plastic bag. But anyway, Jackson, nice fish, buddy, nice fish, and he caught that on 8-pound test line on a spinning rod, and let's see, I know it was on a crankbait. I'm trying to think. A plastic Big O.
Yeah.
Now them boys was into my box, and he caught that on a plastic Big O. Bill knows what I'm talking about. It was the cotton cordell mimic of the balsa wood plug, and that's what they was throwing. Square bill.
Yeah, the little short
hook.
one. Little short
one.
About 1.5 inches, 2 inches long.
Yeah, the little small size. It's just a small plug. And I actually had the bigger size.
Oh, yeah.
To go along with it, but that's what he caught the fish on. And so that's a good job. All right, Dylan, go to the next. Whoop. There we go. Now, folks, there's Tony Gallagher. I think they caught them Saturday. What did I do with my phone? Dang it. What'd you do with it, Mike? I was going to get my calendar out and look to see. And I know about
16 crappie.
Is that how many he's got there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that was they all caught the. Now go to the next picture on the crappie. By the way, Tony, there you go. There's 2. And was caught on Watts Bar this past Saturday. One of them weighed 3 pound even, and the other one was like 214 or something like almost 3 pounds.
Yeah.
And them was 2 dandies that him and his buddy Terry caught, and along with all those other.
You look at them there. I wouldn't doubt them ain't done laid out.
Well, that's a good possibility. And them fish come 25-foot water.
Yeah.
Sure did. They come 25 foot of water, and that's what Tony told me. And but they had a nice bag, and they had a crappie tournament down there Saturday, church tournament. Have it every year, and one of the guys was Tony and them was fishing, or they were fishing. This guy was fishing up around them, and I had fished at this place, and he told Tony, said, I done fished right there. Said, there ain't nothing there. And buddy Tony said the first drop I made caught that biggest, and then the second drop caught the next. That guy said he couldn't believe it. So, and they were casting or trolling grubs, and Tony's doing like you. He's fishing straight down with them minnows. And but they had go back to that other picture now, Dylan, the one that shows the all of them together. There you go. Nice bag of crappie.
Sure is.
That's a nice bag of crappie. With them 2 big ones to go along with it. So anyway, did we have another picture from somebody else? Okay, that may have been. I thought there's 4 pictures. That may be the only 3 we got. But anyway, that's a nice bag of crappie.
Sure.
And Tony's sick. He called me earlier this afternoon. Said he probably wouldn't get to call in. He was really feeling bad, and I told him I'd try to fill in for him best I could.
Mm-hmm.
But they're catching them, out there 25 foot of water. That's what he told me. So, and I know there's people catching crappie in 3 foot of water.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty's been catching them there in Little Emery, 3 foot deep. So and catching some nice ones, he said. So hey, listen, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
doubt.
So they're shallow, and they're going to be deep, and you take a fish that's out there 45 feet and 40, 45 feet or 30 feet. That water 30 feet deep ain't as warm as it is right now at 2 foot.
No, Lord, no, long way
I
from it.
guarantee you.
Long way from it. It's probably still 58 degrees out there.
Yeah, so it's going to take a few days for it to warm up enough for that fish out there in that 50-degree water to think, well, heck, it's time to spawn.
It's slowly migrating.
They'll migrate in. I agree with that 100%. And so, yeah, they're just everywhere, and you're going to always find some shallow fish, and the deep fish, you just got to fish out there for them. But that's the thing. We like to catch them shallow because it's a lot easier.
Faster,
that's right.
Yeah,
Don't take my bait but just a minute to get to the bottom of 2 foot water. Or like when I say a minute, a second or two in 2 foot of water, but it takes me a little longer to get it down there in 30 feet. Yeah. So I can count to 15 or 20.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, give us a report.
Well, it went Wednesday.
Yep.
Fished hard.
Oh, man.
I had 2 fish, smallmouth. One was 18 inches and one was 19 and a quarter, and it's both bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I never caught a fish on the bank. Never got a bite on the bank. Every bite that I got, and I got a few of the bumps and nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They come out 15 to 16 foot of water. It's the only place I could get a bite.
Yep. Well, Thursday night, you heard me tell what we done, but all the fish I saw on my depth finder there Thursday night idling around and looking and listening was out there in 15 to 20 feet deep.
That's right.
And
now I know that water's been coming up, and it's about 10, 15 right now, 5 feet below full pool. But I don't think them fish have come up yet.
I agree with you.
Now, I just can't believe. I heard Bill say that he thought they was on the nest. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that water temperature was 67 degrees when I was up there Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what's the matter with them. I thought they're supposed to. Now, Bob, old man Sharp, he says, "Oh, now they got to wait till the 1st of May."
Yeah.
Well, I said, "Well, yeah, but it's been warm. It looks like the water temperature." He said, "Oh, now they're going to turn on the 1st of May." He's been telling me they're going to turn on for a month.
Yeah.
They ain't got there yet.
Well, that was it. I'm glad to hear what Bill called in and said. Them catching them 6 or 7 the other night, and then night before last, I think they had 3. But that was promising to me, and that's what we was talking about. Instead of waiting, and I've got a report. These guys been catching them crappie or walleye for 3 weeks up there.
Well, I've been day fishing.
Yeah, I agree. I know what you're saying, and I don't know that a man couldn't catch them day fishing if he was trolling. I used to troll them old jet lures and spinners and worms and stuff like that. For years, and meet many a fisherman coming down the bank, me fishing for smallmouth, and them, "Hey buddy, you doing any good?" "Yeah, I've got 3 or 4. You trolling for walleye?" Yeah. I mean, you know, that's been going on for ever since I've been on that lake, and I don't know. It's a mystery right now for me, but I'm not going to give up on them until we get up there and try them.
Well, I don't know. I do troll for walleye some, but I don't know. It might be a little early for them.
Yeah, well, it could be, Dave. It could be, and the water coming up quick makes a difference. You know, it just covers them over. So.
Yeah. Now, I had one hit. He bumped it, and he started off with it. Started carrying it off. I said, set the hook. Nothing there. He might have been pushing it off the nest.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought, because that's the way they'll do you.
That's right.
But that was only one.
Yeah.
You know, so.
What? Maybe we can get meet up at the ramp there, me and you and Bill and old man Sharp, and we go out there and figure them out.
Well, I told Pop, I said, now, he's 93 years old now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, Pop, you're supposed to be the old learned one.
Yeah.
You're supposed to know what these fish are.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. I agree with you, man. Well, buddy, it's good to hear from you.
Yes, sir. Take care, boys.
All right, man. We'll be looking forward to seeing you.
All right, bye.
See you, buddy. Hello, caller.
Hey, Steve, this is Buzz. How you doing?
Hey, well, I've been waiting on you to call over here and tell us what's going on. What?
Well, I'm just, I was wondering if you and Mike have heard anything about any shad spawning down there on Watts Bar.
No, but there was some flipping on the bank up at North there last week, but not heavy. You know, not like I wanted to find them, but there was some breaking on the bank up there last week. But I hadn't heard anything about Watts Bar, the shad of spawning, and they may be on down the lake now, Buzz. You know.
Well, I fished out of the dam last week, and the guy brought in 5 good ones that looked like it already spawned out, but the ones we caught a week before were full of eggs, and last week didn't do so good.
Well, so what you're telling me, the ones that was caught last week full of eggs may be the ones that's on the bed now.
Well,
is that what you're saying?
Well, I would have thought that, Steve, but the places I was catching them and went shallow, just wasn't getting the bites this past weekend, and but they were down by Piney, so I think down on that end of the lake, they might be on and come off, but I hadn't seen it up the lake.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you what, the water was warmer in the Little Emery back a month ago than it was anywhere else on the lake.
Well,
it was it was near 60 degrees back a month ago, and
well,
it chilled back off.
I just want to say, them guys out work at Fish North all the time. I guess last weekend, they're telling me they caught 20 and 30 smallmouth in that tournament up there Saturday, and probably had 15 or 16 keepers.
Well,
there last week and the first of this week on one bank.
Shucks. Well, that sounds good. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm sure Dave Fulton will be glad to hear that too.
So, well, I just wanted to call in and see how you, Mike, was doing and tell you hello. And
good. Glad you called,
Buzz. Watching and listening, trying to get some pointers.
All right, man. I don't know.
All right, Steve, y'all have a good one.
You too, buddy. I don't know about many pointers from Mike. Yeah, he might point you in the wrong direction.
I hear you. Well, y'all have a good one.
Okay, buddy. Good to hear from you, Buzz.
Good to hear from you, Steve. See you.
See you, buddy. Well, that's and Norris had been tough last several weeks. I've had too many people tell me that, like I said the other day, they had a 20-boat tournament up there, and I think there's only 6 of them had a fish, and I think the guy won the thing with two fish or 3, and won the tournament with it. And so,
well, it used to though. They'd talk about the smallmouth spawning 62 degrees, 8-10 foot of water.
Yeah.
And now the water's so daggone clear. They can be out there 15 foot and still see them. So it don't surprise me them fish staying out there that deep. And
I agree.
But 62 degrees, now that water out there deeper may be getting close to that.
Right. Okay.
Where Watch Bar, it's been changing the temperature because of the rain, running in and out, and same way with the color. One time you go down there and it's starting to clear up, and the next time you go down there you can't see the bottom whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, here's right quick what you get into down there. You're fishing back here in the creek.
Yeah.
Well, that's the first place it muddies up, and it's the first place it clears up.
It is. It is.
And you go in there, especially if they're pulling the water. Now, if they're backing the water up, it doesn't get out to the mouth of the creek. It stays in the back. And yesterday, when Coach Brown and I were down there, the water temperature, the buoys was laid back upriver.
Yeah,
That water
pushing it, that's
hard.
right, yeah.
Sure were. Let me see what this is right here. Hello, caller. Hello. Okay. So anyway, the buoys was laid back. That tells they was pushing that water, holding that water back heavy, and you only see that when you're up in the upper end of the lake to amount to a whole lot. Let me make a few announcements here right quick and catch a couple of tournaments, see what we can come up with. One thing I do want to mention is the meeting next Friday at 6 o'clock at the Kellytown Baptist Church over there at the Activities Building. Those folks that want to have this get-together for Coach Ronnie Brown, we'd like to meet there next Friday, 6 o'clock at the Activities Building, and anybody that's that would be interested in helping plan that event, we sure would love to have you. And let's see, next thing would be the Reynolds Racing and Marine. The satellite showroom is over there at 620 West Ray Street, there in Kingston, and that's right beside the donut shop. Be on the right, looking at the building. The steakhouse is on the left, and I think it's Mama Mia's across the street.
Yeah.
So do get in there. They're working diligently trying to get that place fixed up. They're taking side-by-sides and more boats over there. If you're interested in that, just call the number in Harriman. It's on the screen, and set you up an appointment. And like I said, if you're just dropping by, they can be there in 10, 12, 15 minutes at the most.
If they want a side-by-side, they better get in there and get them fast because they're leaving out there. I'm telling you, them people's are buying them.
They are.
Yeah, they realizing that you're getting a fully loaded piece of equipment there compared to the others is stripped down. Then you got to start buying all this stuff to put on them.
Accessories, yeah, exactly right. And these things come with dump beds, double winches, trailer hitches, big tires, disc brakes, the whole 9 yards, enclosures. Whatever you want.
Light bars, radios, you name it. It's got it on it. And
they're nice looking vehicles, Mike. I'll tell you that right now. That five-seater is as big as a Jeep.
Yeah, I helped a guy load it there the other evening. I know.
I mean, it's a monster.
Yeah, he's tickled to death with it.
Heck, I think it's bigger than a Jeep.
No,
I mean, it's huge. So anyway. Check those out down there at Glenn Reynolds Racing and Marine in Harriman, and give them a shout. They'll have them, they're trying to get them over to the satellite place showroom, and just give them a call on that. Plus, spring's here. We're done past spring now, Mike. We're headed into early summer.
Yeah, and they're having a big jamboree this weekend too. I think it's
big jamboree, and listen, the jet skiing and your pontoon boating and all that's coming up. So if your boat's been tied up in storage or whatever, if you want to get it lake ready, right now would be the time to do it.
They were skiing last weekend.
I know it. Jet skiing, I know.
Pulled them on inner tubes and everything in the world down there.
Yeah, I heard this guy going, water. He's walking out there, waiting out to get his jet ski there, and, I mean, as long as you don't fall in, that's good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
so,
that 70 degrees on top feels pretty good on top, but when you get down a few feet, you find out, isn't it?
Yeah, about knee deep, and it's changes temperature. So anyway, doing that right quick. Let's see. I know we've got a couple of tournaments here that we had this past week, and a couple coming up. Let's see. Today is the 20th. We got the Blue Ridge Bassmasters will be on Watts Bar April the 22nd, which that'll be Saturday. They'll be at Caney Creek, so you want to remember that for sure. That's the Blue Ridge Bassmasters, Caney Creek, Saturday. And then you got the White Pine Marine Tournament. Their next tournament is April the 29th, and they'll be at Cherokee at the Dam. And Heartland Anglers are Division 17 at Rockwood, and I don't have a full schedule for the Heartland, and I apologize for that. I need to get me one printed off and get that done. They'll be at April 29th. They'll be out of Rockwood, and that's a safe light to 1 o'clock, and that's a 3-fish limit. So you can get George Hedden is the director on that. And the Fishers of Men, and that was something I promised I'd do, was find out about the Tim Irwin tournament. Fishers of Men, we got, let's see, they'll be at Cherokee at the Dam this coming Saturday. That's Cherokee at the Dam on the Fishers of Men, and then the April the 15th, that was done over. That's the Cherokee tournament they had last week. Their next tournament, or the Tennessee Team Trail, is June the 3rd, and it's on Watts Bar. So James Knuckles, he'll be April the 22nd at Fort Loudon. That's the Phoenix Trail, or Volunteer Bass Trail, sponsored by Phoenix. And then somewhere in between now and the 20th of May is the St. Jude's at Kingston City Park, and then I know the Tim Irwin tournament's coming up here real soon, first or second week of May, Mike, and I got to get that information. Anyway, that's kind of what we got going on, folks. I'm sorry about the filming. Remember our detail shop there in Harriman. Remember all my sponsors. Edgemore Outdoors, the bank, and so on and so forth. Tim's Tires, the detail shop there, window tinting and stuff. That's East Tennessee Tint and Detailing. You know, like I told you the other week, they just got about any kind of detailing you want done, which install of DVD players and all that kind of stuff, light bars and suspension and stuff. Give those folks a good opportunity there to get your vehicle shaped up and be
They
ready to
do
go.
Campers or anything in there.
Yeah.
Boats, I'd say they do boats.
Oh
anything
yeah, I meant to tell you, if you want your boat detailed, they do that too. And if you got a runabout or something that's got windows, want them tinted, they do that too. So good place. We just got a couple of minutes left. Sorry about the filming. I hope we can get that film pulled up because I do want to show it. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you all next week. God bless you and have a safe week.
Are a leading cause of death for young children. Simple safety steps are the best way to prevent these tragedies. Make sure kids learn how to swim. Always watch them in and around water. Properly fence all pools and stay away from drains. Consider the steps you take, then add a few more. Because you never know which pool safety step will save a life until it does. Simple steps save lives. To learn some new ones, visit poolsafely.gov.
Country Fresh Foods. You may not know the name, but you definitely know the taste. Our homemade fudge is shipped all over the country. Its quality is unmatched, and it's made right here in Oliver Springs. But you don't have to travel all over to enjoy it. You can get it right here at our retail store. Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts. The highest quality fudge in a countless variety of flavors. And we also carry a variety of candy and unique gifts for you to enjoy. Come enjoy the taste you have loved for years at Pamela Ann's Fudge, Candy, and Gifts in Oliver Springs, a division of Country Fresh Foods.
Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her walk miles a day for dirty water. But together, we can end their walk by providing clean water close by. Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, girls can be in a classroom, and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses. It's true. When you just add water, you change a life. Learn more at worldvision.org.